Okay, yeah. So we have Franklin Caldwell the second with us today. He's the owner of 47 Bored Apes. Presently, he just recently purchased the 47th. So we are really grateful for having him on our call today. And we just want to kind of find out his life story, his strategy, a little bit about his strategies, maybe, and understand more his thought process and really get some more insight. So yeah, with that, welcome Franklin to the call.
Thank you, and
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
yeah, likewise. So yeah, let's start off maybe with what got you into Bored Apes, like right in the beginning. What did you get a hunch, or did you kind of do some analysis? How did you kind of come up with the concept that?
So my NFT exposure at the time, this is exactly a year ago, was
Mm-hmm.
an NBA Top Shot. And so I had been an NBA Top Shot about a month and a half. Was not doing well at all, but I was throwing as much money as I can in there using all types of deposits from crypto to credit cards, just to get that experience to try to flip something that might go up in value or hope that the market would recover. It never actually recovered from that day that I first bought, so it's been a slow decline.
Yeah.
However, I learned a lot about NFTs, so I owe them, a lot for that, because
Mm-hmm.
by being on Twitter, not really doing any tweets or anything, just research,
Mm-hmm.
connected me to the community, just from an outsider's point of view. But at least I was able, through following them, to kind of get an idea of the inner workings of how people think, how people analyze NFTs, what projects they got involved in. And I noticed
Mm-hmm.
CryptoPunks was the profile picture that everybody wanted to have. They were just very expensive, but a lot of people were making a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
buying, flipping, or just having a big bag of NFTs. And so
Yeah.
that was always intriguing to me. As far as you know, eventually they're going to catch on because more people are going to decide to make their profile pictures CryptoPunks as a status symbol. And so
Mm.
the status symbol um, part of it is what drew me to Bored Apes in terms
Mm.
of like what they could bring. I've answered this question like 1,000 times. It's the first time I thought about that line, but it does make sense because
Okay.
um, me being in Top Shot wasn't really like a status. It wasn't really a status symbol to own a
Uh-huh.
certain moment, not as much as owning a CryptoPunk. And I sort of found that out early on because I would buy so many semi-rare Top Shot moments, nothing crazy,
Mm.
just one or two crazy purchases, but a lot of at what would now be very expensive moments, but at the time wasn't that expensive. It's just a
Mm.
lot of money, just
Mm-hmm.
to try to build my collection and have a just for years and years and years down the road. I was thinking super long term with them, but
Okay.
when the apes sort of announced that they were minting and stuff, I still was sort of on the sidelines. It took me, a lot of the people that I followed on Top Shot Twitter then
Mm-hmm.
started to mint apes, and so it kind of like spread like wildfire. So at the beginning of May, the end of April that night,
Uh-huh.
um, a lot of people changed their profile picture. So that was the first like big wave of profile picture art I saw since CryptoPunks. So I immediately thought, okay, for people who can afford a CryptoPunk, who want to probably
Yeah.
be in that community, changing your profile picture
Right.
to an ape could get you that
Uh-huh.
next level, down. So I
Oh,
minted
okay.
3 apes, joined the
Okay.
Discord. The Discord was very lively. Um,
Okay.
the rest is history. That first day, the floor price was like under point 0.2 ETH. I bought 30.
Oh, you
I,
bought right on the first day, 30 on that
yeah,
first
yeah.
day.
I
Okay.
minted 3 and then bought 30 on secondary for
Wow.
immediately 3 or 4 times as much as I could have minted for. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But that was after having so much money in Top Shot.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't put that much more money into Bored Apes because I didn't
Yeah.
want the same situation to happen.
Yeah, that's
But at
like
least
six
for
seeds.
Bored Apes, I was early to the project, not Top Shot
Mm.
where I was too late.
So did you say you actually had to sell some of your Top Shot to get into the apes, or you just kind of
No,
put it
at
together?
that point, I don't think I'd ever sold Top Shot moment. I probably did. I probably sold maybe one or two to buy other moments, but I never put
Mm-hmm.
any money out of Top Shot. It was a long, drawn out process just to be able to pull money out and withdraw it into my crypto. So at
Mm-hmm.
the time, I wasn't able to use any of my Top Shot deposits and purchases
Mm.
to find more crypto to buy apes. It took me maybe to like July or August to pull all that money out. By then it was down, $50,000, $60,000 And so I probably could pull it out, you know, like 15 or 20,000 once everything got sold. But all the rest of the money just came from you know, flipping or borrowing a few dollars here and there to buy more crypto, ETH going up and down, things like that. So it's been a fun journey for this year. Of course, you know, it gets harder and harder to spot the good projects with so many choices out there. But there's still, you know, even to this day, there's still plenty of projects that can make people a lot of money instantly. Even higher gains than what the apes were doing back then and made. I mean, it took the apes a long time to hit 1 ETH floor. Now projects start above 1 or even 2 ETH.
Yeah, it's like now become mainstream, and there's a lot more people getting involved. And so from those 33 ETH, how did the rest of the journey happen to 47?
So yeah, I probably sold down to about 25. The first they airdropped us dogs, so that's a lot of ETH right there. At about 0.5 to 0.7 ETH per dog. Of course, you know, they're 10 times and 12, 13 times as much now. But I sold some to get a CryptoPunk and also a gold dog. So I splurged and had some really nice dogs. And then I could sell them off to get more money. I was in the Ghost project pretty early. Made a lot of good flips there. CryptoFunks project, made some flips. Those are pretty much my biggest wins to help me get more money. Before I took all my CryptoPunk, like for example, I took my CryptoPunks profits, paid off all the loans I had. At that time, I had about 30 apes. Got to maybe like 31 or 32, maybe 31 or so, while buying a lot of Genesis Cyberconks to try to earn some passive banana tokens. And that didn't go too well by the end of the year because everybody was selling off. So I was rotating a lot of money into buying more apes. So I think I ended up with about 32 or 33 at the end of the year. I wanted to make sure I flipped the CryptoPunk floor. So the floor price of the apes and punks were tied, and I bought the ape to flip it the first time around. So that was pretty good accomplishment there personally. And then by the time the new year started, I you know, I would rotate. I think I might have rotated money probably out of, you know, I was still selling off my CryptoPunks, but rotating money out of Cybercoms or bananas into more apes. So I probably got to about 33, 34 or so, and then that's when I got into the creeps. So once I got into creeps, at the beginning of end of January, beginning of February, I just chucked off all my Cybercons at whatever price. You know, I didn't care how low the price was. Buying creeps, I thought it was, you know, the next big thing that was going to be, you know, it was earning more passive money income wise than or passive income money wise than Cybercon. So I thought, okay, the money that I put into creeps, you know, my return on investment is going to be faster. So I put about 4 or so apes worth of money, and the floor is about 100 ETH. So my guess is like 400 or so ETH total.
Oh wow, that's a lot of creeps.
So it was mostly Reptile Armory and mini vaults. So I was just trying to, you know, stack up on Lumi as much as I can. Sell the Lumi to buy more creeps. So I was just going all in. That was probably my worst investment. You know, everything's down 90. Price limit was down more than 90%. Everything else is down 90% over less than 3 months. So. So did you hold on like all the way through that big peak for Lumi? I did. I mean, I started finally selling to get, you know, try to buy as many apes as I can, you know, this month or so. So I was trying to hold the creeps and hold the Lumi and cash out or play the games, which I'm pretty much. I got enough points to make the level 10 ID lizard. Now I just need to get my trace together. So I'm still participating, but you know, just using the money that I've already paid to get in. So my strategy there is just to, if I need to get Lumi to continue the game, I'll go ahead. But otherwise, I'm pretty much, you know, trying to make the best ID lizard as possible. And, you know, make the art on that looks pretty sick. So as long as I get some good art on that, that'll be pretty nice to make. And then I have a 1 of 1 that's coming too. That's going to be pretty dope. So that's my future plans in creeps. Other than that, you know, I was trying to stack them as many apes as I can. So I had 38 apes. ApeCoin dropped. I sold my ApeCoin, you know, half price it is now. So that gave me enough ETH to spread around other projects, eventually try to buy more apes. got up to now 47 apes. And
okay.
now we have supposedly a land drop coming. It's almost like a
Yeah.
new airdrop every month. So
Yeah.
once I sold my ApeCoin and saw that this other stuff was coming, I was like, I need to get back in because people are going to follow and try to get the next airdrop. So I wanted to make sure I didn't have money on the sidelines anymore. I put it back into the project. Similar to what I did with Lumi and Creeps, and sell the Lumi that my Creeps gave me to buy more RAs.
Okay. So on Creeps, you managed to pull out the initial investment, and then now it's kind of running off the profits you made on Creeps, is it?
No, I didn't make any profits. I put in the 400 ETH from the other flips, and then the price went down by like 90%. So I wasn't able to make any money off of it.
Okay.
But I had fun playing. But what I did pull out was all the points that I generated, from playing. So I already had spent Lumi for those points. Yeah. So I can't sell those points. So I'm taking that and running it with. So when running it with the ID Lizard and stuff like that. So that stuff I count as I paid for it, but it's at this point it's pretty much generating extra assets for me. But that's my goal. That's the one thing. It seems like the project's looking forward to that. So that's what I'm looking forward to as well.
And what did you do with your mutant apes?
So we got our mutant serum. So I had 29 apes at the time. I had 20 M1s, 9 M2s. Obviously, that's a lot of money right now. I sold M2s around 15, 20 ETH. Sold my M1s around 5 to 7 ETH. I mutated probably half a dozen or so. 4 of them I mutated the M2s as well. 2 of those full sets I've sold completely off. So I've sold M1s and M2s. And one of those 2 apes, I sold the ape as well. It was a diamond pro ape. So I'm only down to 2 full sets now. So I have 4 mutants total. 2 for my profile picture, the M1 M2 of my gold, and another ape that I minted, Pizza Ape 6605. So I have 2 mutants for that one. So I missed the mutant pump from 25 to 31. It'd be nice to have one, but I was trying to stack as many apes as I can. So hopefully the gains I made from buying apes makes up for what I missed out if I would have spent the equal amount of money on mutants.
So are you still quite bullish on Bored Apes? What's your kind of
vision
going forward?
I like their idea of creating an even bigger ecosystem for. It seems like anytime normally projects shouldn't be making extra assets, but as long as they make new collections and new assets to include more of the community in the NFT, because we're getting so big, I think it's the move they have to make. A lot of other teams are expanding, so them expanding to as much of the ecosystem as possible, gives that Apple or Google name recognition to the space. Everybody knows what Yuga Labs is now. Buying Yuga Labs asset, seems to be not financial advice, but it's always gone up for anybody who's bought in prior to this moment. Other than any sort of like pre-airdrop pumps and stuff like that. So I like what they're doing, and the fact that they started with Bored Apes makes me bullish because that's kind of their Genesis collection. So the most benefits will come from that collection, and the social capital and status recognition of being a top holder in that. You can't match that anywhere else, any other project. There's no way I could cash out, move to another project, and become that high level of investor for such a high visibility company or project. So I kind of like it here and will stick around.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your sort of strategy for liquidity? So do you plan to kind of just hold on to them and let?
Yeah, just hold on to the apes. Like we're supposedly getting this land. So as of this time, there's no confirmed airdrop. It's just all speculation. But I can say with certainty that I'm excited and I think it's going to happen. The market has adjusted accordingly, so a lot of other people think so as well. So any other airdrops I get, that gives me more chance at liquidity while keeping the same amount of apes or growing my ape count. Also, with the commercial rights and licensing that made me bullish in the first place, hopefully I can make some money from that too, and hold on to the ape. So those are the avenues I'm looking for: getting airdrops, making money from the airdrops, and possibly just sitting around a home and licensing them out for people to pay me to use.
Mm-hmm. Is there any like new projects you're doing flips on, or just looking at?
Nope,
This is
I'm
like
pretty
your
much all
focus?
burnt out before this airdrop. It's the
Okay.
first time in a while that I've had, not,
Okay.
I always had that money from Bitcoin, but now
Yeah.
I'm kind of back to a few months ago where they don't really have much to put in. So I'm just buying some partial fractional liquidity pool tokens for these other side adjacent projects like Toads, Heroic of Women, CryptoPunks, MeBits, Cool Cats. So just seeing what the floor prices are and trying to bite a little bit off of that as I can. Sometimes ape token as well.
Yeah, and you seem to have a very good eye for picking projects. Like, you know, it's not like you invested in a ton of projects, but the projects you invested, they were, you know, they were pretty solid projects. So, or is there like, is there any like bad stories where, you know, you had to go through like maybe 50% really bad projects in order to get through the other 50%, which were really good? Or
yeah, I mean that's kind of what we sign up for here in NFTs. We a lot of projects, they're going to go through days or weeks sometimes without even having, you know, a handful of sales. And so like, what do you do in those situations? I'm more of a, just get me out of here. I want to find a project that's really, you know, popular, really in the front of culture and business. You know, it's just personal preference. You know, no need to try and play the waiting game when there's other, I feel like, better and more liquid projects out there. Maybe you won't get the 10x gains or 20 or 30x gains, but at least you're storing your ETH in something that's reputable, more, you know, have more eyes on it, have at least a bigger collection, possibly bigger benefits. And so, and obviously I'm biased with what I got, but it's worked out so far. You know, it seems like more and more money is coming into these top tier projects, especially for people who are less risky. And as risky as I am, at least I owe myself some credit for not messing up my actual ape NFT bag. I messed up the Apecoin bag, so I give my, you know, we're not all perfect. So I'm like, okay, you know, that's my one chance I had of fumbling. At least I waited till I got this level to fumble away that many hundreds of, you know, tens of millions or whatever dollars. And look, now we have another airdrop coming. So here's my, you know, like my next chance to make up for it.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's the cool thing about Bored Apes, that they really look after their kind of long-term investors. That's quite nice how they do it. So let's say you know, you had nothing and you started off on NFTs, and you have maybe, you know, a small bit of capital to put in. What would be your strategy? Like now,
well, you
like
know, I've done a lot of research. If I had started with nothing, I hope would have found Twitter over Instagram. That's the first step, because I wouldn't have gotten into this probably without social media. I wouldn't have known. I probably would have seen links to follow accounts on social media that would have gotten me to join social media. Hopefully it'd be Twitter over Instagram. You know, but some people will find it through Instagram. I just hope, you know, the hypothetical version we would have found on Twitter. Twitter, you know, gives you business accounts to follow. I would have had to do a lot of research on security and making sure my assets are safe, and, you know, that you make sure I know the risks of using blockchain technology, especially in finding your wallet or connecting to websites. Yeah, of course, all this hindsight, so it's easy to say now, but I hope I wouldn't have had to do that research first. So at least I know where I'm moving money to, that I can move it back, things like that.
So you get a hardware wallet tied up, and then get a good Twitter account, start following some good influencers, and then
and in terms of what accounts to follow and what projects to get into, I probably would have resonated with a profile picture that I really like the art for, not necessarily the most expensive one, especially if I can afford it. It would have taken me a long time to get into the liquidity pool math and aspect of that, where you can buy partial fractions. So if I didn't have an option, I would just pick a floor price that's within my ETH count, and just rock that profile picture, and, you know, keep engaging. I definitely act the way on Twitter I've always acted, so I think I had my personality already built in. So I would have acted the same way with just one NFT. I would have interacted with the same people, same type of people, talk the same way. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully that could help me get into more communities. It would be hard for me to do a lot of flipping with not that much money, because
Yeah.
change you risk losing it and having to add more money, or you just die. So
so you'd look to get into communities and then
yeah.
be more interactive with people, get
Yeah.
into an NFT basically, and then.
But I still would have the same mindset that when it's time to let go and make money, to find, you know, either cash out or find other plays, and I would do that. So I just have a different mindset than other people. Other people might want to hold their NFTs for a long time, regardless of floor price. I see that as like disposable cash, where that literally is money that you don't want to see again. And so the way I've just lived, I hope to not spend too much of that type of money.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm interested in getting in and getting out, moving stuff around. But if I were to buy NFT that I would never sell, to me that's just like it's like going to the grocery store, buying groceries, buying food, or going to eat a burger or somewhere. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that back. So it's like you have to budget yourself, knowing that you're going to lose that amount of money. So that's not the way I want to approach NFTs. So that's the risk we all take. But that's what helps me sort of get in and get out and find other projects. Just on a lot smaller scale than hundreds of thousands at a time.
Yeah. But how do you kind of decide which projects to go with? Because there's so many options. Even if you start following, you get like 20 different projects to look at.
It would have to be like a survey of who's having what profile picture. I think visibility is key. Community is key.
Okay.
If nobody's rocking that as a profile picture I follow, I probably wouldn't be interested in it to be my own profile picture. So.
Okay, so that's what you meant. Like you'd see which profile picture is being used more on Twitter. Yeah. And then base your judgment on that. Okay, this picture is going good. So
or which project's being talked about the most.
Yeah.
And it has to come from reputable sources, not fake accounts and things like that.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Interesting. And so basically that means you'd miss the mints, isn't it? Because
it would be a project that's already been going on. I wouldn't be brand new coming into mint. I wouldn't even know how to do that. Minting Bored Apes was my first time ever minting something. So because I used Top Shot prior. So it was just perfect timing there. I could have waited till they sold out, but I would have known how to buy them when they sold out. So I was like, you know what, I was going to mint. I didn't even know what that meant, but it worked out.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So okay. And so tell me about maybe the other, like, how did you transition to NFTs? Like, you were involved in various other things. You had the NASA stuff, the Obama stuff. I would love to know, the evolution of you from, where you were to where you are. It's like now you're almost like full-time NFT, isn't it? Almost.
Getting there, I have to quit my job first. Haven't had any plans to do that yet. Maybe after this land drop, maybe I will. But prior to 2021, pretty much. And, 2020 was pandemic. I stayed at home a long time. Was putting crypto into sports betting websites that took Bitcoin. So there was a lot of esports going on. So I was trying to, watch TV and place wagers on random, video game matchups, or eventually, races that came around after the pandemic, or just obscure sports like table tennis, or minor league soccer somewhere. But at least it taught me how to buy Bitcoin, how to send it, how fast money gets transferred. So I learned a little bit about.
So it was 21. You started off on even cryptocurrencies.
No, 2020. So during the pandemic.
Oh, okay, 2020. Okay.
So then I started making a lot of money at my previous employer through employee referrals. So I had a good skill of networking on LinkedIn, finding potential candidates and referring them to jobs, and then getting hired. So that paid a lot. That gave me a lot of disposable income that I could put back into crypto and stocks. At the end of 2020, which on election day, I started a random Twitter account and follow the news because I was into prediction. I just started doing prediction markets that day. So I wanted to make a Twitter account to follow people, maybe follow people who do similar things that I was doing, just to make sure I'm, picking out the right outcome here for these prediction questions. So that's where my Twitter name comes from. And from that point on, I went down the rabbit hole, found a crypto prediction market website that taught me how to do crypto and DeFi, using Uniswap, Balance, or these different websites that could swap tokens. I can move money around from wallet to wallet. So I finally got more comfortable all that without having to buy NFT. But I was able to use ETH and DeFi. So I didn't really get into NFTs until Top Shot came out in March. So up until March 2021, it was mostly stocks, crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto Twitter, stock Twitter, things like that I was following.
So if you started on cryptos in 2020, you managed to get into that big pump as well that happened in the beginning of
No, because all of the money that I would send to the website, to the betting website, they would immediately convert it to fiat. So I bought Bitcoin really cheap at the start of the pandemic at 3,000, which is what I did just to go to the website. By the time I pulled out and Bitcoin was $4,000, I get less Bitcoin back than when I put the money in, because I'm finding money in dollars on the website, not in Bitcoin. So here in ETH land, you stack ETH by flipping. Over there in Bitcoin land, you have like play money. So you stack cash, and then the cash comes back and buys the Bitcoin, but Bitcoin had already pumped. Then you end up with less Bitcoin. Most of the time, I would not have any money in there anyway. So I just have to keep adding money. I have to keep buying Bitcoin and immediately sending it out there. Once I send it out there, probably won't come back. But I missed the pump up until end of 2020. I got that little pump at the beginning of 2021. That was pretty much the reason I got. But then of course everything dropped. So all that pump got, it didn't.
It did dip a little, and then but you managed to catch on to the NFT boom. So that was pretty good timing there. Yeah. Okay, interesting. So like going forward, are you seeing any kind of like what's the future like, or do you have a prediction?
There's a lot of people coming in NFTs, like more than I ever thought. I thought what we had in May was what we're going to get. It was a little small group. We somehow got 10,000 apes, and now we have 6,000 owners or more than that. So I think more people are coming in. I took a peek at the stock market, especially the tech stocks, for the first time in months. Maybe like 6 months.
They've dumped, isn't it? Yeah, the tech stocks.
Yeah, a lot of companies that I would spend hours researching, trying to get every little penny out of, are down 30-40%, and it's just
it's a sale, isn't it?
Even for the past month, they've dropped that much. So some funds around and get back in.
Sorry, you're breaking up. We can't hear you well.
Sorry, there's a mowers outside of the house and my dog's barking. That was all that noise.
Okay, no worries.
But yeah, all those tech stocks that NFTs helped me get up so like way more than
the ROIs are pretty big. So okay, interesting, because I was doing some tech stocks as well in 2020 and then missed that whole kind of crypto pump because of I had them in there, and then obviously everything dropped. So
I missed the tech pump of 2020. There was a lot of stocks that pumped, and so that's what got me intrigued in getting into stocks in general. So I was sort of already into crypto, but I wanted to get into stocks because they were doing a lot. Even though crypto went up, some of those stocks were putting up crazy numbers, and I never really made it to a nice pump. I think I sold out of Tesla before their pump to like over, their last pump to over 1,000 the first time around, and I think they did another split.
Yeah, the split twice, I think, in the last 2 years.
So I missed out on like all those. I didn't get it until after their last split, and the price had gone from like 800 to like 500. So that was the beginning of last year.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, no, that's quite cool. So tell us about Obama. I saw your picture with Obama. How did you?
That picture was from October of 2015 at a fundraiser.
Okay.
He was doing a fundraiser for his presidential campaign debt to pay off. So I randomly saw a news article that Kanye West was going to be there. And he and Kanye had some jabs at each other in the past. So I thought that was interesting. And then I was living in California at the time, and then that made me think, okay, got this fresh new credit card. Let me try to run it up. And it got me. I was like, well, they're going to be in San Francisco. It's only a short plane flight away. I could do like a day trip there and get in and get out. It'll be a once in a lifetime experience to meet the president. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
So it was very
Wow.
bucket list thing.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Bucket list. Yeah.
Gotta be.
Sorry, the last sentence, we missed it.
So I got to move on a fundraiser, and the Golden State Warriors were there.
Uh-huh.
Performed.
Yeah. Sorry, you're breaking up.
My lawn folks are here. I know.
Oh yeah.
It's my dog's barking.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
no
so
worries.
to finish the Obama story, the Golden State Warriors were there, and Kanye was there, so it was fun to to be in their presence.
Okay, that's awesome. That's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've got a cool. So, are you now kind of focusing full time on NFTs, or what are you up to?
No, just my main job. But I try to, since I work from home, it's easy to have a laptop over here.
Okay.
This month I haven't been doing much during the day, during the work day on social media or NFTs. I got a lot to do, and now not that much money to spend, so it's not really. I don't really check stuff as much. Just waiting to see the next big news and check Twitter every once in a while.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah. No, is there any kind of parting notes or anything you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Nope. I hope to be back soon.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm just curious to see what happens with Yuga. That's kind of the only thing on my mind in terms of NFTs.
Oh yeah.
I know the Moonbird drop happened, and that was huge. I sold all of mine way too early. I
was going to say that you just flipped them, isn't it?
But I wanted to get one more ape, which I did.
Okay.
It wasn't the best use of the money, but I at some point I can't complain. It's like one more ape is one more ape. It doesn't matter how much I spent to get there. It's a long journey. I wouldn't have been able to get there had I waited till today, for example, because I bought my last ape at 102. That was 2 mornings, or Monday morning. Here it is Wednesday afternoon. The floor price is 124. So,
but your moon birds would have probably easily covered.
Yeah, that would have had required me to hold on to the moon birds, which I.
Oh yeah.
That's a different mindset than
I
normally had. So I would have had to hold on to the moon birds, and then the ape at a higher price. But I got my last one. You don't know how things are going to be. They could have did the announcement on Monday afternoon, and I would have been maybe short.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of was hurrying to get that. Now that if once all these new assets hit the market, hopefully that can spread some money out for me. Maybe I can get back into a Moonbird. As of now, I just don't have enough to get into it. I have a full set of the Bored Ape Chronicles, which I got in at the last second. So that could be worth a lot one day. I'm already getting whitelist spots for their upcoming project. So that's my next biggest bag outside of apes, other than drifter shoots where my vans go. But I don't plan on flipping where my vans go for a while. I'm hoping that gets a lot of momentum long term, and drifters is somebody who really supports. So I don't want to. I want to try not to be outside of this project. I just got in a few weeks ago. So those are my two. If I really needed to really quickly get a whole bunch of ETH real fast, those are my 2 biggest bags. Other than, so that's my strategy going forward. And
okay. And can
you, sparking.
Can just one last question, I guess, before we wrap up. What would you because you're quite experienced in doing flips and knowing when to get in and when to get out. What would be the strategy you'd advise? Again, obviously not financial advice, but just kind of your personal opinion of what do you think would be a good strategy to do flips?
So I like to use the website IC tools to help me find a lot of projects that are having a lot of momentum. I don't use as much as I used to, but it's just I'm not online as much as I am. But and then there's a lot of projects that pump, and so it's hard to find one that really works. Or some might not pump as fast, but they will have a larger percentage increase, so you might miss those on those websites. But definitely, sales volume is a really big indicator to know when to get in, when to get out. I'm starting to learn you always need to sell into the pumps, because once they stop, things can get really dried up. So It's either best to sell right into a pump and just forget about any other lost income that you would have had if you waited. Just take your profits and run out, or wait till a sell stop and then just list right at the bottom, and hopefully somebody will buy that dip. So that's kind of my two strategies. Usually pumps don't last every day, all day, every day. So you've got like 1 or 2 days max to get your gains. Otherwise, you have to wait a little bit longer. Usually, and it's usually not a steady increase. Moonbirds has been the first I've seen to go, have every day where it goes up by 15-20%. Although yesterday morning it dipped to like 14 or so ETH, but over 50% in one day is still pretty large.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting. What you mentioned, that actually the pump lasts typically between 1 and 2 days before it starts dying down. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So just if you've already missed the first 2 days, it's probably not a good time to buy in. Just wait for another dip.
Yeah.
That's advice.
Okay. But how would you know that it's coming back? Like.
It still has to be. I would still buy in when there's a lot of sales. So if the floor price dips 15, 20, 25%, and it's still going, I think it's still a good time to buy in. If there's no sales at all, then don't bother yet.
Okay, so the flow dropped, but there's still a lot of volume.
Yeah.
A lot of sales
IC tools usually filters by the most sales, so you can see a project with high sales but a low drop in floor price. That's a good time to get in. But if it's low sales and low floor price at the same time, then you're probably gonna get stuck for a little bit. So it's always good to get that that U shape where it's still like there's a lot of you'll see a lot of dots, a lot of cells on the chart, and that's pretty much a good time to find the bottom. Also, when a project goes from unrevealed to revealed, the floor price always does that U shape. There's always gonna be that drop, and then but you have to time it right on the bottom. Otherwise, just wait for the next day.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, that's really insightful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Cool. All right. So yeah, we'll wrap up, and thank you again for joining on the call today. It was great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog interrupted.
It's all right.
But yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right.
Be back. Just invite me anytime.
Yeah. Sure thing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.